Hi you guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Patience. To my existing subscribers, welcome back. If this is your first time here, be sure to click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can continue to indulge in the Haute Bella experience. In today's video, I am going to be creating this beautiful eye look using the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. This is a palette I have had my eye on for quite some time. When it first released, I had my eye on this palette, but I didn't buy it when it first came out because I had other palettes that had some of these types of shades in it. So I figured, you know what, I'll just hold off, I'll wait for a sale, and I'll pick it up at that point in time. And sure enough, the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty came along, and this is one of the palettes that was featured during that 21-day sale. So I felt, you know what, now's the time for me to pick it up. The shades in this palette appear to be muted. However, as you can see, you get just enough pigmentation to give you a beautiful eye look. And even though these shades appear to be muted, they bring the drama. So if you would like to see how I created this look, then keep watching. I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Barely Baked, and I'm going to use this as my brow bone highlight. And now I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Bucked, and I'm going to use this as my transition shade. In the original Naked palette, there was a shade called Buck, B-U-C-K. This one is called B-U-C-K-E-D, but in the original palette, there was a shade called Buck, and it was a gorgeous, gorgeous transition shade, very similar to this. And I used it on many occasions, even though I may not have been using any of the other shadows out of that original Naked palette at the time for the look, but I would use the shade Buck from the original palette quite frequently. So I'm just going to build this up to my desired level of intensity. And now I'm going to try the shade Retro, and I was torn between the shades Boundaries and Retro because I want to place this in the crease area just to add a little bit more of a blend or just that gradient type of look to my crease area. So I was going to use Boundaries, but I normally use kind of an orange type of shade in this area, so I want to try to do something a little different today. So I'm going to try Retro. Retro is the pink shade in this palette, so yeah, I'm going to put that in the crease area here. I'm going back in with Bucked once again, just to make certain that I'm off to a good start with my blending. So don't want to lose that color. So I'm going to add a little bit more of that back in. Very soft colors. I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Endgame, and I'm going to place this on my outer V and sweep it into my crease area. This, by the way, is the darkest shade in this palette. I've used my PLouise eyeshadow base to carve out a portion of my lid, and I am going to soften up the edges of where I have carved out this lid, and I'm going to go back to this shade right here. This shade is called Endgame, and yeah, I'm just going to soften up these edges just a little bit. And I'm going to use this shade right here. This is a matte shade, and this shade is called Blur. And I'm going to use this or place this on the areas that I still have open here where I have applied my PLouise eyeshadow base. I'm going back in with Endgame to blend these two colors together just a little bit more. And now I'm going to go into this shade right here. This shade is called Angel Fire. This look so far is all matte, but I want to add a little bit of shimmer into this look and try out the shimmer shades in this Naked Reloaded palette. So yeah, this is Angel Fire, and I'm going to put this starting with the inner corner here and take it right along the edge of where I have the lighter color on my eye. This color is called Blur. So just to bring a little bit more lightness into that and just to try the shimmer shade out. I think I want to try this wet to see if it brings a little bit more of that shimmer out. So I'm going to spritz a little bit of my MAC Fix Plus onto my brush and see if that makes a difference. And I believe it does. Yeah, that is causing that to stand out a little bit more. I want it right in the arch area here. I'm going to go back into Endgame once again. That's the deepest shade that's in this palette. I'm going to use my Sigma E36 brush. I'm going to take a little bit of this shade. I'm going to add a little bit more definition in the area where I've had to manipulate my natural crease line. I think I'm done with the eyeshadow portion of this eye look. I don't think there's anything else I can do to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add my liner and my lashes. My liner and my lashes are done, and I'm going to move on to my complexion. And today I'm going to be using the foundation from Juvia's Place for my complexion. I'm also using two of the concealers from Juvia's Place. I'm using one in the shade 15 and one in the shade 12. This is the original foundation from Juvia's Place, and it is a full coverage foundation. So I only used one small pump or one small squeeze out of the tube for this foundation. And it is going to cover my entire face. So as usual, I'm starting off with a foundation brush, and then I will follow up with a sponge just to make sure that I've got everything blended into my skin and that there's not any excess product that's sitting on top of my skin. This foundation is in the shade Somalia. Foundation is done. My concealer is done. My foundation is also done. I'm going to do a light set in my under eye area, and I'm going to use my RCMA No Color powder to do that. So my under eyes are set, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use the RCMA No Color powder to set my entire face very lightly, because I am going to be trying out again a cream product for my bronzer and my blush. So I'm going to try this again. I'm not going to use too much powder, but just a little bit to keep my foundation from moving on me. And now that my complexion is done, I am going to go back into the Naked Reloaded palette again. And I'm going to go back to this shade right here. This is called Endgame. And I'm going to use this to smoke out my waterline. And to finish off my complexion, I am going to be doing some bronzing. I'm going to add some blush. And I am going to be trying out once again the Cheeks Out cream bronzer from Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Teddy. This is what this bronzer looks like. I have tried this bronzer once before, so I'm going to try this again, and I'm hoping that I have more success with it this time. I think sometimes it's all in the tools that you use. I'm not one to use my fingers, and I think that since this is a cream product, it may work a little bit better if you're using your fingers. I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to have to try to make this work my way, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to use this brush today to apply this bronzer. bronzer, and I'm hoping that this makes a difference. I hope this is the magic tool for using this cream bronzer. So yeah, this is a contour brush, and you can see it's square. It's an interesting shape of brush, but it's flat and it's square. So I'm hoping that this is going to be the perfect tool for applying this cream bronzer. And let's see if this works. It's laying the product down really nicely, so I'm happy with that. This shade, this Teddy shade in this cream bronzer is working really well on my skin tone. I like the way it looks. Very soft. Very, very pretty. I'm going to use this blush. This is also from the Cheeks Out collection from Fenty Beauty, and this is in the shade Strawberry Drip, and I am going to use my sponge to apply this blush to my cheeks. Take this up into my temple area just a little bit. Make sure I get the apples of my cheeks. Pretty. Very pretty. And I'm going to place this in the same area as I would a highlighter. Fuego Flush is a tangerine gold type of shade, is the way I would describe this. So yeah, I'm going to use it in the same area as I would a highlighter. This product does have quite a bit of sheen to it, and I'm trying to get used to that. But this is looking nice. This is looking pretty. I like this. It is now time for lips, and I'm going to use the color Stone from MAC on my lips. And this look is done. The Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette was well worth my wait. This look turned out gorgeous. I love the way this eyeshadow look softly complements my eyes. The shadows in this Naked palette do just that. They give you just enough pigmentation to be able to give you the look that you want without overdoing it. This is a gorgeous palette. I am so happy that I have it in my collection, and as usual, I will be creating more beautiful and stunning looks using this palette. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.